What's up, people? Orseofkorse here, coming at you with another Paragon deck build. This is going to be the first deck build that I make in patch V.42. I've played a little bit, tested out some decks, and this is what I think works for me. Feel free to test out your own decks, though, and see what works for you. One thing about this patch, they really let you be creative and all that good stuff, so make sure you take advantage of that. But if you want to follow my deck, here it is. For Lieutenant Belica, I'm going Chaos and Knowledge. Chaos just had a card in there that I couldn't pass up. I think it's just awesome for Belica. And Knowledge, you're going to be specking a lot of points into the intellect and attributes anyway. So I think Knowledge is a good way to capitalize on building into that attribute. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, people. Now, I can't actually show you like the deck, the 12 cards, because the screen is not like optimized yet. So I have to show you cards in this larger menu. Now, the first card that I go with is a Rejuvenator. And keep in mind, you can only have 12 cards, so make sure you choose wisely. So the Rejuvenator, this is basically a mana potion and a health potion combined. So it's 200 gold, and you gain 12 health regen and 10 mana regen for 10 seconds. It only has one use. Once you use it, it's gone. Just like it's just a consumable. So keep that in mind. Very good card, very cheap. I think it's worth it, especially in the early game. Another card that I really like is Advanced Evolution. This card is Restorative Learning is the effect. So you restore 5% of your max health and 5% of max mana per second for 3 seconds after leveling up. This card right here, I kind of slept on it at first because I was like, that's kind of weak. But when I took this card out of my deck, I noticed a huge difference. This card is awesome for standing a fight. It's awesome for getting that little bit of health back, that little bit of mana back. And it'll keep you, topped off in a way. Especially if you have your Rejuvenator. Pair those two together, you'll be good to go. So I think this card is very important, and it's only 1 point, so very cheap, and I think it's helpful. Now, if you don't want to go with the Rejuvenator first, this is another card that is good to take right off the bat. This is the Font of Experience. If you don't mind playing a little more cautiously, this card can get you ahead of your enemy mid laner very easily. And I say mid lane because I play Belica mid. Wherever you play her, same rules apply. But this card gives you gain 4 experience every 10 seconds. Now, we all know that in the mid lane it's about countering your opponent, it's about outplaying your opponent, and usually the person that gets that first kill, it's usually by seconds, right? Whoever gets their ultimate first, sometimes whoever can get their jungler get a gank. This right here will allow you to get your ultimate that much faster. It'll allow you to outpace the person that you're laning against. So I think that this is a great card, because with Belica, if you get your ult before Howie gets her ult or his ult, you're going to take him down, especially if he's went through too much mana. Well, I guess mana's not a big issue anymore in the new patch. But with Belica's ult, you can take somebody down easy peasy. So just keep that in mind. I know economy cards people are kind of like on the fence about, but I think they're very useful. So next we have 2 cards right here. I go with the Profiter. A lot of people say that this is only good if you're going to be running a carry, because that's who you want to be stacking up the gold. I think it's good on just about any hero. These type of cards right here, it's fairly expensive, 2,400 gold, but it's not crazy gold. And I think that it will be worth it in the end, because if you're getting your farm up and you have more gold than your opponent, you're just going to be doing more damage, more stuff, whatever. So I think this card is good, and it synergizes with the gem that I have in my deck where when you destroy minions, you get mana. So as long as you're last hitting those minions, I believe you're going to get +2 mana. So it just goes together with the deck that I'm trying to build right now. So I think this card is very important. 55 bonus gold, you can't beat that. The next card I have right here is the Mana Flow Alkalite. This card right here is awesome for casters. Basically, so it gives you 9 power, and then the effect is called Scholar. That's the passive. So increases max mana by 0.5 and power by 0.5 when purchasing intellect. I'm going to be putting a lot of points into the intellect attributes. So every time I do so, I will gain mana and power just for doing it. You can't beat that. It's only 3 points, and I think it's well worth it just because it's going to help you hit harder. It's going to help you have a larger mana pool. All good. So the next card we're going to be going to is called the Mana Scout. Now, here's the thing about Mana Scout. I swap between Mana Scout and Astral Leap all the time because they're both very good cards. But this is where I usually tend to go through because I've been playing with subscribers and 5 stacks. But in solo queue, I would definitely probably pick the Blink. But when I have a stack, I'll go with the Supply Surgeon. This card gives you 110 mana and then Mana Shout. Restore 125 mana to nearby allies. So I like this because it gives you that mana, which is good. It allows you to cast more spells, and it also restores mana to you and your allies. So I like this just because of that. It keeps you in the game. It keeps you like that. Now, when I play solo queue, like I said, Astro Leap over that because it gives you the regen and it allows you to escape. And I think you need that more when you're not in communications. So it's up to you though with that one. Another card that I think is invaluable for almost for any caster really is the Soldier of Fortune. This card is amazing. Gives you 100 mana, gives you 40% mana regen. And here's the thing. The Golden Touch. Destroy target minions and gain one or a target minion one and gain 150 bonus gold and 30 experience. Now, this card is great for a couple of reasons. The obvious one, of course, being you get that bonus gold and that bonus experience. Awesome. Secondly, though, you destroy one minion, which ideally would be their siege minion or their ranged minion in general, so that you can set your lane and have that sneaky push going, right? But it allows you to basically control the wave. And I think that is awesome because I know a lot of people don't really think about that, like, oh, control the wave. But that is very powerful. You know, especially if you're having a caster like in the off lane, you can set the lane up, have it slow pushing so people think that, you know, their lane is still doing good. Then you go over and, you know, you jump on somebody like Aurora, Gideon, whoever's in the off lane. I mean, it's just a tremendous card. You can use it just to really screw some people over. So I really like that. I highly recommend this. Um, you can also go with Power Tap if you don't want the Soldier of Fortune. So it's really up to you. But I'm going with the Soldier of Fortune for now. As we get down here further, we have two cards in this row. So let's start with this one, the Riot Sapper. Now this card right here, ironically enough, actually looks like Belica somewhat, right? I think it's just a perfect card for her. So it gives you 11 power, 24 ability armor, and here's the best part, the Mana Bomb. Remove 20 current mana from nearby enemy heroes, dealing ability damage equal to mana removed. So that will destroy a caster right there. That on top of your mana drain, that is just a filthy combo right there. You can just destroy somebody's mana pool. So I really like this card. I think it synergizes well with Belica. I think it's a must-have for Lieutenant Belica. So make sure if you're gonna, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how to build, but I just think it's an awesome card for her. So now, the next card in this row is gonna be the Thaumaturge. Now I might be saying that name wrong, but that's how I think it's pronounced. 8 power, 105 mana, and then empowering mana. So you gain power equal to 1% of your max mana, which synergizes with the deck that we've been building so far because we're stacking our mana a little bit. So this card will just give you extra power for mana. You gain 4 max mana whenever you deal damage to an enemy hero, up to 300 max mana. You can't beat that. Free damage. You're going to be fighting heroes the whole game, so you know you're going to max out with the overflow. Easy peasy, good damage there. Now, as we get down further here, this is a card that I think should be in any caster deck. This right here is Atomic Soldier. It gives you 17 power, 145 mana, and ability damage is increased by 10%. That's all you need. 10% damage, boom, good to go. So I really like that card. It just, you can't beat that on a caster. There's no more to be said about that. As we get down here further, I have a card right here that you can take or you can leave. Like if you want to get the blink, if you want to get some of the other cards that I was talking about, by all means, swap this card out because you only have 12 slots. This is Sleeper Agent. You gain 14 power, 140 mana, and then Gag Order is what I like here. So Gag Order, silence target enemies for 3 seconds. The target takes 15% increased damage. I love this card. I'm trying it on all my casters right now just to see who it works with the best. But the idea that you can silence a target, silence is so powerful, right? You get that on like a Gideon, you know he's not blinking away. You get that on Morgus, she's not going to mark you, she's not going to do anything, she can't speed away. I mean, silence a target is just awesome. But on top of that, the target takes 15 increased damage. So I really like this card. It's very expensive though. So, you know, if you're going to use it, you know, just keep that in mind. But I think this card is worth trying out on some casters just to see who it works best with. Now, the last card here that I'm going to show you is the Corrosive Walker. Now, I like this card more on my Morgus, but it's just such a good card that I have to put it on Belica as well. So this card right here is gives you 25 power, 385 health, and then Enfeebling Shout. Reduce ability armor of nearby enemies by 30 for 6 seconds. So basically, you can put people into the negative armor depending on you know, the rest of your team comp as well. And with Belica hitting so hard, you will destroy characters with this card. Like I said, also works well with Morgesh. Black Ice Routine was another one I was going to put in here, but I didn't. More of like an Aurora card. But yeah, so this is how I'm building my Lieutenant Belica right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gems that I'm going to be using for, and then we'll be good. Let's see. So a lot of my gems are in the intellect tree, but I did put one into vitality, and that's healing tower. So you gain 2.2 health regen and 1.2 mana regen while near towers or structures. So I think this card is good for just about any hero. I don't know why you wouldn't take this, just because that health regen, that mana regen, especially if you have to hide under towers for a little bit. I mean, it's invaluable. You gotta have this right here. So I always take this on most of my characters, and just for that reason right there. Um, Now intellect, I put all the rest of my gems into intellect. So the first one is auto mana potion. Gain 2.5 mana regen for 15 seconds when you fall below 40% mana. Just an extra mana potion there. It keeps you in the fight, allows you to get more spells out. So I always go with that mana potion. I think it's very worth it. Deadly mana is the next one. Killing an enemy minion increases max mana by 2. So this right here, that's why I say the synergizes so well with the deck, because you're getting more mana, which is going to give you more damage. If you have your Profiter on, you're going to be more enticed to get those last hits. Not only because it's going to make you stronger, but it's also going to give you a better mana pool. So a higher mana pool, more damage, easy peasy. Mana Fountain. So right here, 20% mana regen, regen up to 10 mana percent, mana per second based on missing mana. So basically like a little infinity stream. You can't beat that. Keeps you in the fight, keeps your mana up. So I love that. Mana Fountain's good, good. Ruthless Spell. Deal, so you get the 20% mana regen, of course, and you deal an additional 1% ability damage for every 10% of enemies heroes missing health. So this is awesome, especially in a team fight, especially since you're probably not going to be the initiator. You know, usually it's like your Chimera, your jungler is probably going to be the person that gets that first hit in there. You might get your knock up in, you know, that's usually that could start a fight, that's true. But by the time you get like your void bomb in, like your heavy hitter, the person's probably going to be like at half health, especially if it's a team fight or even just one other person there. Whoever you're attacking is probably going to have taken some damage by now. So you're just going to be hitting that much harder. So I really like this card. I just think or this gem, I think it's awesome. So I really like that. I cannot right now. So the last card we have here is Overpowered Spell. So another uncommon gem, 2.5 power, 20% mana regen, abilities deal 20% bonus damage and cost an additional 30 mana. Now, yes, the negative that it costs more mana, but who cares? You're dealing 20% bonus damage. If you've been last hitting and you've been specking into your intellect tree, you have a nice mana pool by now, so it won't even matter. And you have enough regen where you'll stay relatively topped off. This card right here, 20% bonus damage is ridiculous. A gem like this is crazy. I say you have to have this, especially on Belica, because she already hits so hard. So this right here, along with Ruthless Spells, you're just going to be destroying kids. Now, people, that's what I have for my Belica build. That's my logic for building her this way. Let me know what you think about the build down in the comments. Let me know how you're building your Lieutenant Belica or your casters in general. Also, if you made it to the end of the video, let me know who is your favorite mid laner right now. Mine is still Lieutenant Belica, but Gadget and Morgus are definitely right behind her. They are making a nice little comeback, and even the Fae. So I have some heroes that I'm mixing it in with, that I'm mixing up a little bit now with my mid lane. But Belica is still bae. She's still #1. People, if you liked the video, make sure to drop a like. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And if you would like to know how to support the channel, check in the description, hit my link to my Patreon, go check out the rewards you get for being a patron, and if it appeals to you, you know, donate to the channel. Everything's appreciated, nothing is mandatory though. And that will be it. Thank you for viewing the video, people. Make sure to subscribe, become a part of the Orseofkorse today. We will see you in the next live stream or the next video. Peace.